Hello, my crafty friends. Welcome. I'm so glad you're joining me today. So I have the last of the December club kits from Spellbinders here on my desk, and this is the small die of the month for December. This kit is called Sketched Florals and Frame, and I'm going to be creating a couple of cards using this. So let me show you all of these gorgeous dies first. Look at this cute, wonky looking frame. It fits perfectly on an A2 sized card. Let me pull a panel here and just show you. It covers it completely, and of course you can use it portrait style or landscape. And I'm going to make one of each in this video, starting with a portrait card. Let me show you the florals first. These are so much fun. So that piece cuts out the background, and if you insert this piece into it, it cuts out a really pretty frame. And there are 4 of them that do this. I'll put the 4 here on this white panel. So I cut out most of my flowers twice, once with the outline die, and then once again with the outline die, and then this little floral piece on the inside. And then you get 3 greenery pieces or little leaves that go with this set. So I went ahead and cut out everything off camera. I'm going to dip into my little Susan Tierney kit for this little piece of, wax paper that I'm going to be doing some ink blending on. This is just the perfect little size for these flowers. The pattern paper I'm using is from the December card kit of the month, and it is called Beauty is Everywhere. I loved the pattern paper this month. It's very vintagey. And so I pulled a piece of pattern paper out of that, and I'm going to attach it to my A2 sized top folding card base. This just has some really soft colors to it that I'm going to copy for my florals. Isn't that pretty? So I'm just going to glue my frame down flat. Oh, here's a look at the pattern paper. You get 2 of each pattern. Sometimes you can buy the pattern paper separate, but I couldn't find that for this month, but I will link to the card kit of the month for December. I'm going to be adding a little more color with a Copic marker, and this is a neutral 4. Actually, not color. I'm adding a little bit of gray, inserting it back into this frame. So I kept all of the pieces inside the frame that popped out. And I'm going to color them in with this gray Copic marker and then pop them in just around the frame. You can add glue to the back of this frame to attach it, of course, but I just pulled out my dot liner for this, and I'm going to center it on my card base. The colors on this card are going to be very soft and delicate, just like the frame here. So once I have this centered, I'm going to go ahead and start coloring in the frame pieces. There's a little piece here that I bent back a little bit, so I'm just going to use a dab of liquid glue to attach it back into place. And the paper I'm using is a very heavyweight cardstock. It's Nina Solar White 110-pound cardstock. These pieces are very easy to paper piece back into the frame. And I'm just leaving the pieces attached to the second frame while I do this and just pulling them out as I need them. I'll use my jewel picker. This helps to pick up these small pieces. And I want to make sure that I have this aligned correctly. And I do, so I'm just going to take it back out of the frame. I'll use my all-in-one tool to do this. And just add a little bit of glue behind it and pop it into place. This is really fun to do also. So now for my next piece, I'll just pop it out again and quickly color it with my Copic marker. And this little piece of wax paper wipes off beautifully. I've used this a lot already. And like I said, it's just the right size to have on your desk to do little techniques like this. I'll jump ahead here. I'm sure you get the idea. And I just paper pieced these back in place. Now let's work on the flowers. You can cut them out with cardstock, colored cardstock, of course, but I wanted to add some soft colors with some Distress Oxide ink. This one is worn lipstick, and I don't want an even blend. I want it to look kind of sketchy as well. I'm just adding a little bit of color. The darkest of it will be in the middle. And then I'm going to use some more of the dot liner to attach the layering pieces on top. And then once I have that aligned, I'll give you a close-up look at this flower. Isn't that just pretty? You could paper piece these too and it'd be beautiful. I'm going to pop up most of my flowers with foam squares. So here's the second flower, and this is a little bit of Speckled Egg Distress Oxide ink. And again, I want there to be some light and dark shades to this. And then I can just glue this piece back on top. The speckled egg came really close to the blues on this pattern paper. I'm going to use a little bit more of the worn lipstick for this piece here. And then I'm even going to use some grays, a hickory smoke for some of the leaves. And everything is just very subtle looking on this card. And then I'll even use some shabby shutters on the greenery. This is the lightest green I have in my stash. And then on the last little flower, I do use some dried marigold. The sentiment is going to say hello, and I'm using this set. It's called Simply Perfect Mix and Match Sentiments. It's a nice one to have in your stash, just to pull out a quick sentiment and die cut it. And now I'm going to be building the little bouquet at the bottom of this frame. Some of them are going to go down flat with a little bit of liquid glue. And then some of them, like I said, I'm going to pop up with some foam tape or foam squares. I cut out a lot more pieces than I actually end up using, but I always like to have more than less, and I can always save these pieces for another card. A lot of the pattern paper is going to be showing through on this card, but it was so pretty I didn't want to cover it up. So if you are interested in picking up this December Small Die of the Month kit, you have until December 24th, and then it rolls over to the January club kits. As usual, I'll have all of the links to the products and supplies that I use listed in the description box below. I'm just going to add a few more leaves here. So I'm also including just some of the outline dies. I think they look pretty just on their own. I only put one foam square behind the larger flowers that I popped up so that I could tuck the other flowers and leaves behind them really easily. Let's attach the sentiment next. I'm just using some liquid glue for this. And this is just one layer. I know a lot of crafters like to add several layers to build up their sentiment, and I do that sometimes too. But this time I'm just going with the one layer, and it matches the frame that way. And now for a few pink gems around this panel. They help spread out the color, and it just adds a touch of sparkle to the card. I love these. I'm using several different sizes. I'm going to add smaller gemstones next to the larger gems. And then that's all there is to this card. Here is a close-up look at the finished card. This frame and the flowers are so pretty. I had a lot of fun playing with this one. So for card number 2, I'm going to go a little more dramatic. I cut out the frame with some mirror gold cardstock, and I'm using another piece of the pattern paper from that pad I showed you earlier. I love this piece of black cardstock because it looks like it's been distressed. This time I colored in the florals with Villainous Potion, Kitsch Flamingo, and salvage patina. And I cut out the layers with the gold mirror cardstock as well. And then I'm popping most of these up with foam squares. I love the look of these three colors together. And then with the gold outline, they look like, I don't know, like almost jewelry, like substantial pieces on this card. After I get my flowers in place, I'll add a few outline pieces with the gold again. And then I'll just tuck these outlines behind the flowers. This is a very fast and simple card. The sentiment says hugs, and it is from the same Simply Perfect Mix and Match sentiments that you can get. I'm going to glue down the gold sentiment first. And then I colored in another sentiment with the Villainous Potion. The Villainous Potion can get quite dark, but I didn't put it down full strength because I like the lighter purple. And then I'm just going to attach this kind of askew on top of the gold, so it has a pretty gold outline to it. And here is a close-up look at the finished card. I used some of the fashion gold embellishments around this panel. And again, this is called the Sketched Florals and Frame Small Die of the Month for December. All of the club kits were so much fun to create with this month. Again, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video and got some fun inspiration from it. I'm sending out crafty hugs to all of you. Take care, everyone. I hope you find some time today to sit down and create some beautiful cards. Bye.